Hey, what's up everyone? Foxy here, and today we're going to be talking about some tips and tricks in lastepoch for both beginners and intermediates that will cover a few things. We're only going to stick to about 5 or 6 and keep this video short. We're going to cover some stuff around how to skip the campaign, some quality of life stuff, and some endgame stuff as well. So first of all, how to skip the campaign, or at least portions of the campaign. Now, each of the dungeons allow you to basically skip a portion of the campaign. You'll see these little icons down here with the little feet. And what they do is basically allow you, as long as you have a key, to bypass portions of the campaign. This one leads to the Temporal Sanctum. It will bring you go through here, there's a little passageway with the key, and it'll bring you out here, which will then get you to the Temporal Sanctum. Now, when you complete the Temporal Sanctum, it will then kick you out on the other side to here, allowing you to get to the end part of the campaign. Now, this is great because it gets you your Observatory, or the Bazaar, depending on which faction you go at the end. Also allows you to kill the end boss and get your +1 passives. And if you do the quest around here, you'll get most of your idols and your passives. And then you can just double back and pick up a few others later if you want to. Also of note, which I wouldn't really recommend too much unless you want to just speed level, you can go to the end of time at around level 15. It'll stick you out here. This is where you get your mastery. You can go down here and you can start doing the end game monoliths really early. I'd recommend not really trying that until about 30. And then you can just blast through, get a few levels really quickly if you want to get a little bit more levels just before you do some of these dungeons. Now, each of the dungeons allow you to skip different parts of the campaign. So you can either do one or three, any combination. It's a bit of a mix and match, which is really cool. It allows you to kind of customize your journey through the campaign on your alts. You won't be able to do this on your main character, other than the tactics of just do a few monoliths early. You will have to get these keys to be able to start to basically skip those part of the campaign. So the next tip I want to show is actually something I learned back in the beta days from another content creator, and that's around organizing your stash. It really helps from a quality of life, but it also helps you in the end game when you're trying to make legendaries. So let me show you how I do my stash. It's kind of personal. This is how I've set it up. You can do it slightly differently, but the ideas are useful. So first of all, I have a key stash. I've also got some round and other garbage in here. I don't know why. I'm just really not good at organizing things, but I try. I've also got each of the sort of alts that I'm planning on doing. If I find some godly gear, I'll stick it in here so that when I do make my alt, I just go to this tab and kit them out. And you'll also notice, and this is the important thing, I've got tabs for legendaries. So when I find a really good exalted, I will stick it in here with, like, say a godly stat on it. For example, a ring that has poison. This one's not the best, but I just stick it in there so that when I do get a legendary like this one that has 3 legendary potential, I can then just go here, type ring, and then look in my Warlock tabs for all the rings that I have that I could consider for using with that legendary. And I could organize it further. I could put all the rings in one thing, but I haven't micromanaged it that much. But you could do that if that's something you like, or you really like organizing stuff. I'm trying my best. I'm not the best at doing this, but I find this really useful. And then I also have a tab for like uniques, set items, and exalted that aren't specific to an alt that I really want to use right now. But I just stick it all in here just in case I do want to use it at some point, which is really cool. And then this search functionality is also really, really useful because it'll actually get rid of tabs that don't have that word in it. I think it's quite hard to do an example of this. I'll try. If I type relic, it will get rid of a lot of stuff. It will still have some of these tabs because they have relics in them. But as you can see, it's a quicker way of just sort of narrowing down your options. And I find this good for quality of life. It's also really good for helping you make your in-game legendaries as well. So that's just a nice, easy tip. And to also go with this is something that I've noticed a lot of people don't know about. If you go into your settings here, go to settings, go all the way down to auto compare items, tick that box. I've seen so many people not do this. Just tick that box. It allows you to basically compare without having to hold down a button. And then if you want to see more information on that, you just hold down Alt and it shows you the ranges. It saves you having to press Control. It's a little thing. But I just thought I'd throw that in there as well. So next, let's talk about monoliths. So there are regular monoliths and empowered monoliths. I'll just show you the difference. Here's normal, here's empowered. Lots of people are very tempted to sort of fully go through this, make a huge tree like I've done. You don't need to do this. You basically just want to get through, complete the boss, fill this thing up, and get done, get the blessing, get out, so that you can complete all the monoliths once on normal mode. So you can then start getting to the empowered monoliths. And the reason you want to do that is because it's really not worth the time you put into the normal ones for the gear you get out. Empowered is far stronger, so if you can do the empowered, do that as fast as you can, get there as quick as you can, because then you can actually skip these little quest steps and then just farm the bosses if you want, or do the regular pieces of the empowered monolith to get much better gear. You can then get more fave for your prophecies, better stuff for trading. It's just better. And connected to that is when you actually go into a monolith. Now, especially in the normal monoliths, people are tempted to fill up the little bar on the bottom right so it's full. The reason for doing this is you get more gear in the chest on the right when you come out the monolith than you do if you clear less. However, it's not worth the amount of time to fill that bar up for the gear you get, at least on the normal ones. On high corruption, that tends to start to shift towards the high corruption where it might be worth doing that. But generally, the rule of thumb is go in, do it as fast as possible, and get out. You get much better gear to time ratio. So that's just a little thing. I often see people fully doing that, really spending a lot of time in the normal monoliths. If you can, try to get to the empowered as quick as possible. The last thing I want to talk about is blessings. Now, normal monoliths, when you kill the end boss, gives you normal blessings. When you kill the empowered version of that, you get a much stronger version of the blessing, and I think there's a few additional options as well in there. To just show you a few of the ones I've got, this is an alt. It's not the best blessings, but these are some crazy stats on here. This is just a normal blessing. It gives you 33%. A greater version of this gives me anywhere up to 75%, and they have random chances to roll here. 75% void resistance basically means I don't need to find any gear or idols with void resistance anymore. I'm officially capped straight away with that. So don't sleep on these. Some of them give you really good attack, some give you really good defense, and some give you utility like experience or more shards dropping, etc. So these are really good. So one final thing I wanted to show you is a tool called Lastepoch Tools. If you've seen one of my other videos, you might have seen me talk about this, but basically there's a section here that allows you to look at blessings and sort of find the blessings you might want. So for example, if I go to Reigns of Dragon and type in poison, I've got a poison build at the moment. I might want to target farm this poison, and you can see this gives me anywhere up to 100% increased poison damage. That is insane. Or if I want to look for a resistance, I can show you the one I had earlier in the video. This void one here, this is the grand version, goes all the way up to 75%. So I can look at these different timelines. They're all listed out here, and just target farm which blessings that I might want to go and find. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Hopefully this has been helpful. If so, feel free to give us a like and subscribe. It means a lot. And if there's any particular videos you want me to do next, just shout out in the chat. There's a new season of PoE as well coming out. I love PoE. I might start doing some videos on that if people would be interested in that. But until then, I will catch you next time.